Okay, so get ready to have your foodie minds blown wide open today because
I'm ready.
we are diving deep, deep, deep into the world of
Hey.
L'Atelier de Joël Robuchon, Miami.
Ooh la la.
This is a restaurant that, guys,
Yeah.
has earned not just one,
Right.
but two Michelin stars.
That's
These
different.
are like, the Oscars of the food world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a really big deal.
It's
It means exceptional quality innovation.
absolutely. And what I think is so fascinating about L'Atelier is that it's not just about the fancy accolades. Like, yes, the Michelin stars are incredible, but it's really about the legacy of Joël Robuchon himself.
Okay.
This guy was a true icon in the culinary world, and his whole philosophy was about taking these simple ingredients and elevating them to these extraordinary heights.
Okay, so paint a picture for me. Imagine it's 1981, right?
Mhm.
And this young chef, Joël Robuchon, he's just opened his own restaurant in Paris. He calls it Jamin, and he basically throws out the traditional fine dining rule book. It's out the window.
Yeah, out with the old, in with the new, right? Because Robuchon, he stripped away all the formality, all the stuffiness that people usually associate with fine dining. He created this much more relaxed, intimate atmosphere.
I love that.
But here's the real kicker, the thing that really set him apart. His dishes. They weren't about being overly complicated or pretentious. They were all about showcasing the pure, intense flavors of these really high-quality ingredients. But of course, always with meticulous technique.
Okay, so he was known for these deceptively simple dishes that were bursting with flavor.
Absolutely.
And one of his most legendary creations, I've heard so much about this,
Oh, tell me.
is his potato puree.
Oh, yes. The potato puree.
People swear it's the best they've ever tasted.
You know, there's a reason for that. I mean, Robuchon, this guy was incredibly specific about everything. The type of potatoes he used, the butter, it had to be a specific type of butter. And then the technique. We're talking precise ratios of butter to potato, cooked low and slow.
Oh, wow.
And then, get this, it was passed through a fine mesh sieve, not once, but twice.
Wow. This guy was serious.
He was serious about his potatoes.
So how does this amazing story connect to L'Atelier in Miami?
Well, think of it this way. L'Atelier, which actually means workshop in French, it's designed to feel like you're stepping directly into Robuchon's culinary world. It's all about openness, transparency. They have this open kitchen where you can actually witness the chef's artistry firsthand. I love that. I feel like it's so much more fun. You feel like you're part of the process.
Precisely. You're not just a spectator. You're part of the creative process. And that open kitchen concept, it's reflected in the seating as well. L'Atelier has this really unique counter seating, and it was actually inspired by both Japanese sushi counters and Spanish tapas bars.
Wait, really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
It is, and it completely changes the whole experience because it's all about that lively interaction, seeing the chefs at work, engaging with the people around you.
I love that.
It becomes this really dynamic dining experience and this whole sense of vibrancy. It blends so perfectly with L'Atelier's location, which is right in the heart of Miami's design district, a place known for its energy and creativity.
You've got that amazing blend of Robuchon's culinary philosophy.
And this vibrant Miami atmosphere. But it all comes down to the food, right?
Oh, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's all about the food, and this is where things get really exciting. So L'Atelier Miami takes those classic French techniques that Robuchon championed, right, and infuses them with fresh, local ingredients.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Like a culinary fusion almost.
It really is. It's like a beautiful conversation happening between these two distinct cultures, but on your plate.
What kind of local ingredients are we talking about here?
Well, you know, Miami is a seafood lover's paradise, so naturally you're going to find an abundance of fresh, local catches on the menu.
Right.
Snapper, grouper. They even incorporate Florida's famous stone crab when it's in season.
Stone crab with a French twist. Now that's something I need to try.
Right. And it's not just the seafood. Miami's got this incredible tropical climate, which means they have access to such a diverse range of produce. Imagine mangoes, avocados, plantains, all incorporated into dishes that celebrate both local flavors and French culinary artistry.
Okay, you're speaking my language now. But with a legacy as grand as Robuchon's, who's the culinary mastermind who's entrusted with carrying the torch in Miami.
So that would be Alain Verzaroli.
Okay.
He's a longtime protege of Robuchon himself.
Wow.
He's now the culinary director for L'Atelier Miami.
Amazing.
And he's doing an incredible job, I have to say, of upholding Robuchon's legacy while still, adding his own innovative touches.
And that's exactly what you want, right? I
Yeah.
feel like, when you have a legacy as big as Robuchon's, you need that balance of tradition and evolution
Exactly, yeah.
to keep it relevant, keep it exciting. Can you give us an example of how Verzaroli is like weaving his own style into the menu?
Absolutely. One of the things that really stands out to me is his use of sauces.
Okay.
He makes these beautiful, delicate sauces that are still rooted in classic French techniques, but there's this lightness to them, this vibrancy that just screams Verzaroli.
Oh, interesting.
Like, he might take a traditional French sauce, right, but incorporate a hint of citrus or like a touch of spice, something that really speaks to Miami's bolder flavor profiles.
So it's like those local ingredients we talked about earlier aren't just influencing the dishes themselves, but they're impacting the sauces too. That's so cool.
Exactly. It's like this really holistic approach to creating these unique dining experiences.
Ooh, speaking of unique dining experiences, let's dive into the different ways you can experience L'Atelier Miami, because I know they have a few different options, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so like, what are we working with here?
So for diners who love to be surprised and want to put their trust completely in the chef's hands, there's the taster menu,
Yeah, okay.
which is like this incredible culinary journey.
Ooh, I love a tasting menu.
Yeah, and it's carefully crafted to really showcase the best of what L'Atelier has to offer. They have their classic tasting menu, which has all the signature dishes.
Okay.
They have a vegetarian option for plant-based diners.
Love it.
And then they even have these seasonal tasting menus that change throughout the year,
Oh, fun.
always featuring the freshest local ingredients.
Ooh, those seasonal tasting menus sound incredible.
Yeah.
Like you're really getting the best of what Miami has to offer, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like we were talking about with those stone crabs and all that. Just imagine that all perfectly incorporated into French techniques.
It's a match made in heaven. And then, if you're looking for something a little more flexible, there's always the a la carte option.
Oh, okay.
This basically gives you the freedom to choose exactly what you want. Maybe try something new. Be a little adventurous.
Right. And just for our listeners who might not know, a la carte basically means you can order individual dishes from the menu
Right.
rather than like a pre-selected set.
Right, exactly. And that can be great if you want to try a bunch of different things or if you have dietary preferences. But no matter which dining style you choose, whether it's the tasting menu, a la carte, or even their special prix-fixe lunch that they do on Saturdays, I mean, honestly, you're in for a real treat.
You're totally right. Speaking of treats, have we even talked about the wine?
Oh,
Because I know L'Atelier has an incredible wine list.
they do. Oh, we can't forget the wine. They have this incredibly extensive wine list, features bottles from all over the world, and then to help you navigate it all, they have a sommelier on staff.
Yes. And just for our listeners who might not be familiar with that term, a sommelier is basically a certified wine professional, like a walking, talking encyclopedia of all things vino.
Exactly. Think of them as your own personal wine guide.
Ooh, I love that.
They're there to help you pick out the absolute perfect pairing for your meal
So helpful.
based on your, preferences and what you're ordering.
Okay, this is all sounding amazing. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I have a question for our listeners.
Okay, sure.
If you were lucky enough to snag a reservation at L'Atelier Miami, and trust me, you do need a reservation as a popular spot, would you go all in on the tasting menu and just, put your faith in the chef? Or would you want to embrace your inner gourmand and go a la carte? I mean, it's like choosing your own adventure, but with food.
Right.
But honestly, no matter what you choose, I can already tell you're going to have an amazing experience.
Oh, absolutely.
But speaking of amazing experiences, what about dessert?
Oh.
Because, me and my sweet tooth, we got to talk about the sweet stuff. What are we working with here?
Okay, so dessert at L'Atelier, it's not just an afterthought. They really take it seriously. They have a dedicated pastry chef, Salvatore Martone.
Wow.
And he creates these absolutely exquisite desserts.
Amazing.
Think delicate pastries, rich chocolate creations, really inventive takes on classic French desserts.
Now, I'm really craving a culinary trip to Miami. It's amazing how this one restaurant can just capture so many different things about the dining experience.
Right.
It's more than just the food. It's the atmosphere, the service, the legacy of Joël Robuchon, the innovative spirit of Alain Verzaroli,
Yeah.
and the way they bring in those fresh Miami flavors into the mix. It's incredible.
It really is. You hit the nail on the head. L'Atelier Miami is like a testament to this idea that fine dining can be both sophisticated and approachable.
Right.
It can be rooted in tradition, but also constantly evolving.
Yeah.
It's about creating an experience that really just like tantalizes the senses, something that stays with you long after that last bite.
It really is. So as we close out this deep dive into the world of L'Atelier de Joël Robuchon, Miami, I want to leave you all with this thought. Imagine yourself stepping into that vibrant design district location.
Okay.
You're taking a seat at the counter, and you're witnessing firsthand the passion, the precision, the creativity that goes into each and every dish. It's a reminder that food can be art. Dining can be an adventure.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the simplest ingredients, treated with care and respect, can create the most extraordinary experiences.
Beautifully said. Bon appetit.